Hello, YouTube and Facebook family. When we remember time, carried us away in captivity. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Okay, how's everybody's Tuesday going? We all good? Come on in. When you come on, say hello. Let me know you're here. And the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, oh Lord. This is the day of joy. It's always a day of joy. If God gives you grace to see a new day, it is a day of joy. Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Attorney Abuser'S Samuel, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. I keep saying that because I keep getting that question every single day. So, once again, if you have an immigration case that my firm handles and it's a case that I do, it doesn't matter what state you live in. We can and do represent immigration clients in all 50 states. You see my dad's, God bless his soul. Yeah, I miss him daily. But anyway, once again, this is Attorney Abuser'S Samuel, LA Law Firm in Alabama. 334-341-4475 is our number here. And let's talk immigration. Let's talk Vawa, specifically proving an abuser's status in the Vawa case. So once you come on, please say hello. Let me know you're here. Share how your day has been. And I would really appreciate if you would share the video with your friends. And we are also on YouTube. I always say, but we're Rome wasn't built in a day. So little drops will make a mighty ocean. So we're building subscribers. But if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. And invite your friends and family members to subscribe as well. Please share the video on Facebook as well. And so we can help more people when it comes to immigration cases. And once you come on, please say hello. And that means how are you? That's Yoruba language. And before I forget, if you look closely, you see I have a gap, if you haven't noticed right here. So somebody made a comment on Instagram, not a bad comment, it was a compliment. But I just remember, I was like, that's going to be a fun fact for today, right? Because in Africa, I can speak for Nigeria, where I'm from. If you have a gap, and if you're a Nigerian, confirm, I mix my English and Yoruba. If you're Nigerian, you already know that it's called a G. And it's like the English word, I think, is diastema or something. When I came to the United States was when I knew that it was a bad thing, because I find people who go to the dentist or orthodontist to cover up and close up their gaps, right? But the fun fact is, in Nigeria, having a gap is a sign of beauty. I kid you not. Ask anybody who's Nigerian. It's a sign of beauty. So we don't close your gap in your teeth. That's a fun fact. Anyway, we digress. Once again, this is Attorney Abuser'S Samuel, immigration attorney, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. And so this afternoon, I want to talk briefly about. Let me get I wear glasses, so pardon. Yeah, I want to talk briefly about proving an abuser's status in the Vawa case. So for those who don't know, Vawa is a way where you can get your own green card. You can file for your own green card by yourself, meaning you can petition your green card based on abuse that you've suffered at the hands of, for example, if you're a spouse, based on abuse that you suffered at the hands of your spouse, you can actually use that to file for your own green card. But one of the things you have to do is you have to prove abuse. And so the question then is, so one of the things you have to do is prove abuse. In addition to proving abuse in a VAWA case, so that's how you get, that's what VAWA is in a nutshell. The way to get your green card based on abuse. And one of the things you have to prove in the VAWA case is abuse. However, in addition to proving abuse, you must be able to show that the abuser's status. What does that mean? For you to qualify for VAWA, and I'm going to use spouse. It's a sign of beauty, right? Exactly. Did you not find it interesting that people here actually go to the dentist to close up their gap? Like, smile. Right. Hey. But anyway, one of the things that you have to prove in a VAWA is the status of your abuser, because the abuser in the VAWA case must be a citizen or a green card holder. It has to be a citizen or a green card holder. Citizen spouse, citizen child, citizen parent, green card holder spouse, green card holder's parent. The question then is, if you're trying to prove abuse at the hands of this abuser, how can you get copies of their status, of documents to prove their status? Thank you. Exactly. How do you get copies of their documents to prove their status? You don't expect an abuser to give you voluntarily a copy of their birth certificate or a copy of their passport validator page, right? It doesn't happen. So if that's one of the requirements you have to show and prove, what are the options you have in order to prove that the status of your abuser, that they're a citizen or a green card holder? So these are the options you have. Follow me right now. If you have questions later, please send me an email, put it in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer that. But in a case where if you're just joining us, we're talking about VAWA and proving your abuser status in the VAWA case, and you're not able to get copies of that voluntarily. Obviously, if you have an abusive marriage relationship, that's going to be hard. So how do you prove that your abuser status in the VAWA case? What are the other options you have? One option you have is you can go to your vital records office in your state. And there's some states that will allow. Now, generally, you're not able to get documents belonging to someone else because of privacy reasons, right? However, there are some states where you can call in or call the vital records office in your state, and you have to find out if your state is one of those states. And you can get a copy of someone's birth certificate as long as you're a direct intentional interest relative or direct intentional interest person. That will be an example, will be a spouse. An example will be a guardian. So depending on, because state-specific rules will apply in that situation. If you're not able to get a copy of the birth certificate from the vital records, another way you can prove their status, and I'm talking about citizens now, and I'll talk about green card holders. For citizens, another way you can prove their status is through your marriage certificate. Now, usually when you get married in the United States, in most places, they would ask you, there's always a section in your marriage certificate that says place of birth. Where it's listed, the place of birth has to be listed the state, the city, and the state. So obviously, if you have a city and state listed as a city and state in the United States as their birthplace, that is an additional an option to proving the status of your U.S. citizen spouse. Another way, if that fails, so if you cannot get a copy of your birth certificate in the vital records office, you can't get your marriage certificate, it's not there. Another option is affidavits from witnesses who know firsthand, and this has to be firsthand knowledge of people who can testify and attest to knowing and having firsthand knowledge that your U.S. citizen spouse or U.S. citizen parent was born in the United States, or they have firsthand knowledge that they naturalized, if they're a naturalized citizen, that they naturalized in the United States, or if you have a way where you can get a witness letters stating the fact that they were aware that, if you can't get their naturalization certificate, they're aware that someone who attended an oath ceremony with them, for example, will be able to swear an affidavit to support your stance. If that fails, Usually when you have children that are born, most of the time, or sometimes, depending on the state and how every vital record works, they would have the place of birth of the parents. So you can use copies of your children's birth, especially if you have a child together. Now, if you don't have a child together, it would be hard to get a copy of birth certificate of a child that's not yours, unless you're a guardian. If you have a child together, you can use a copy of your child's birth certificate if it has that information of your spouse's place of birth, right? Another thing you can do, and this is regarding U.S. citizen spouses now. Now, green card holder spouses, that's probably even much harder because, marriage certificate, if you're married to someone, or if you're married to somebody who's a green card holder and you were married at a time where both of you were not, in status yet, or they were not in status yet. So obviously there won't be you won't be place of birth or whatever it is as a citizen's case. So if you cannot get a copy of your green card holder spouse's, a copy of your green card of your spouse, which obviously most of the time in an abuse case, it's hard to get. One of the things you can think about is, was there any previous filings that spouse did on your behalf? So if they had initiated a petition for you in the past, yes, that absolutely, yes, you can. You can use text messages, and I always tell that I digress to that, but I always tell my clients, if you have text messages, now I have this habit of deleting text messages because I get a ton of messages every single day. Like, because you can text me to my office number and it comes to my phone. And I don't, listen, my mother is an Ijebu woman. So only Yoruba people need, if I don't need to spend the money, I ain't gonna spend it. So I look for my storage, like I ain't paying for storage. But so I always go against my own advice. But if you are someone who knows that you're having issues with your marriage and it's not gonna end well, text messages, hold on to them for dear life. A perfect way of having evidence. Okay. So green card, if your green card holder spouse has filed petitions on your behalf before, you can actually do a FOIA request with USCIS. A FOIA request is a Freedom of Information Act that allows you to, no, Jabu, if you waste money. No, we don't play with money. It allows you to request a copy of your immigration file. And if they filed something on your behalf, obviously they must have filed a copy of the green card to show their status. So that's another way you can get documentation to show your abuser's status. Another way is, so if all of that fails, right? If all of that fails, at the very least, this is what you can do. And the law actually allows you to do that. You can, by Immigration Nationality Act, request that USCIS look into their records to verify that your abuser is actually a U.S. citizen or green card holder. Listen carefully now. If you do not have primary, secondary evidence of their status, you must specifically ask that USCIS looks in their records in order to be able to verify your abuser's status. So they have their own computerized records. For instance, you may not have access to your abuser's certificate of naturalization, and they never filed any paperwork for you. But if they naturalize, then they have their records of applying for citizenship before they became a citizen. USCIS will have that in their records. But you must specify and make sure your request is specific, asking them to look in their records to verify the status of your abuser. Things that are helpful will be put the full name or the names as you know it of your abuser, any other names that the abuser has used in the past, their date of birth, if you know that, the social security number, if you know that. If you have an idea where they were born, that's another information you can provide. If you have an idea of the names of your children, or ages of your children, or approximate information, that's another. Give as much information if you're requesting that they look into their records to verify the status of your abuser. So in a nutshell, do not fret if you don't have access to, birth certificate or passport ballot data page or certificate of naturalization or certificate of citizenship. That's fine. There are other ways you can be able to substantiate the evidence, improving the requirement for your visa status in the Vawa case. So just wanted to come on and give that, because that was a question someone actually asked me, and we had to have a consultation about that today. Like, you know what? If someone else is asking that question, there's someone else out there with that same question. Well, also you can start a Vawa process. Completely depends on what's going on in your case, and whether you. And it doesn't matter if something has been filed on your behalf. As long as it's still pending and there's no approval yet, then you can always switch over from a regular petition. I wanted to a Vawa case, but how soon you can start, it just depends on your situation. But the thing is, you must make sure, if you're divorced, the main difference is if you're divorced, you can still file for Vawa. However, you must be able to prove two things. First of all, you must file the petition within 2 years from the divorce, and you must be able to show that the divorce was a result of the abuse in the marriage. Does that answer your question? So anyway, until next time, and if you have a gap, love your gap just the way God gave it to you. It's part of what makes you unique, right? That's just life. You gotta love it just the way you are. Love your natural hair, even though it's turning gray. Love your gap. Just embrace how God made you. But thank you to all those who jumped on. I appreciate you. Please share. Sharing is caring. Invite your friends. And if you have any more questions, put it in the comment section or send me a direct message. I always respond less than 48 hours. And until next time, everybody, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's raining here in Alabama, but we'll see. Anyway, until next time. Once again, if you need to contact my office, my information is scrolling across the screen. And until next time, Facebook and YouTube, bye-bye.